approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you consultation with me and the team to discuss your real estate needs, you can
not much. Another morning in Broadcast House.
826-8000.
Stand by 7 seconds.
Relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I am joined by my lovely co-host this morning, Tracy Grady.
Good morning, South Shore.
Good morning. We apologize ahead of our broadcasting here that we're pretty much falling apart.
We're struggling. We're struggling with voices today.
We're struggling with voices today, so we apologize. But no, we'll be fine. If one of us needs to clear our throat or cough or anything, we'll just run in the other room. We'll cover. Sorry. So, but we promise we'll give you a good show. We always do.
We always do.
We get a lot of great feedback when Tracy's on the show, and people just laugh, and we're hoping that they laugh with us and not at us.
Either, actually, I'm not. Yeah. I'm fine with either.
Well, Tracy, here's your moment.
Here's my moment.
You have been on the show several times.
Yes.
But just in case this is the first time someone is catching you on the show, why don't you reintroduce yourselves to everybody?
Good morning. My name is Tracy Grady. I'm part of the Grady team here at Boston Connect Real Estate. I do real estate with my husband, Jim, who is the better half of our team. We work together selling real estate on the South Shore. We've been doing it for about 8-9 years now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've had wonderful success. We've had great clients. We love working here at Boston Connect Real Estate. It's just our thing to do. And we've been super busy lately. So the market is definitely on fire right now, at least for the Grady team. It is. We've been very successful this year. We've had wonderful clients relocating and moving, and it's been great. So very happy.
Well, we love when people move because that's our business.
That's our business. So if you're ready to move, if you're thinking about moving, give us a call.
Yeah, give us a buzz. When I sort of realized that Sharon was going to be out of the office today, she, very busy. She just got back from a beautiful wedding in Belize. Her niece got married, so the family went down there, and she said it was just absolutely gorgeous. Hot, but it was gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know where Belize was.
Is it in Mexico?
I think it's like South America, somewhere.
It is in South America.
Yeah, somewhere.
I've been to Belize on a cruise.
I looked it up on a map, and I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard the other.
Way down.
Around it. Yeah,
very close to the equator.
I think, yeah. So they said it was very hot, but it was beautiful there, so. So catching up with real estate, of course. So I said, you know what? Let me give Tracy a call and see if she'll. And she always says yes.
I always say yes.
So here
I absolutely am not in town. I always say yes.
Yes.
Yeah. There's nothing worse.
But yes, I wanted to have you on the show because I know how busy you've been, and I know some of the things that have gone on in your business the past couple months. So I want to just sort of jump into that. But before, if you want to join in on the discussion, you can call or text Tim at the studio. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning,
Melissa.
Tim.
Good morning.
Nice to have you in again.
Yes.
Grady.
Hi. Good morning. You can call or text Tim over at the studio, 781-837-4900. Again, 781-837-4900. You can always text that after the show, too. So I know that somebody had texted that number after one of our shows, one of our Saturday shows. So I think Tim or Larry or somebody shot that over to Sharon, and that was great.
That was me.
Yeah, that was Tim. That was Tim. So yeah, you can text it at any time. So we also are live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and LinkedIn. So be sure to follow Boston Connect Real Estate and Sharon Costa McNamara, the McNamara Horton Group. And we're waving hello to everybody who's watching us. You can leave your comment there too if you're a little shy and calling into the studio. So I am monitoring that as well. But yes, Tracy, I wanted you to come on the show because there are some things that have happened in your business that sometimes make you say, huh? What?
Okay.
And I'm just going to start off with, so you have a listing and it was under agreement. It was getting ready to close.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden,
Brakes are on. Buyer financing fell through.
Yes.
So, I mean, we were close. We had already signed purchase and sale agreement. Deposits had been made. Everybody was moving forward. We had already talked about breaking down furniture and what was going to stay, what was going to go. I know that the buyers are devastated. I'm not representing the buyers, but I do know that the buyers were devastated that their financing did not go through, which is exactly what I said was like, because in this day and age, I feel that people are already so vetted, which, would probably be more of a Jasmine question at this point, but, with Maritime Mortgage, is that at this point, very rarely does a deal fall apart because of financing, because people are vetted so well ahead of time. And I feel like most people that have pre-approval letters are actually almost past the point of underwriting.
Yeah.
So that you very rarely are surprised 2 weeks out from close that, oh my God, I didn't get financing. And I'm sure the buyers were devastated that they didn't get financing. So that was a huge surprise for us because that just doesn't seem to happen as much as it did happen in the past. Because mortgage companies have come so far as, they really let their client know how prepared they are to purchase.
Yeah, I mean, just going through the process myself, I kept saying to Jasmine, and Jasmine kept saying it back to me, like, I kept saying, if I can't do this, just stop me. Like, just let me know now because I will be devastated down the line.
Yeah.
And she just kept reassuring me, yes, you can do this, you are qualified.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with her yesterday about potentially refinancing, and I said, I'm going to ask my question again, and she's like, okay, I'll let you.
Yes,
and
you are
I just
qualified.
want to make sure that I meet the qualifications.
Right.
And she's like, we wouldn't start the process if you weren't qualified. So it is surprising to me, but there are some unexpected factors that could come into play. And I'm not saying that this is what happened in this situation, but
Correct.
People lose their jobs all the time.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there's death. Like, there are things that could happen in real life that would, stop the process.
Stop the ball from rolling.
And,
Exactly.
and no longer make you qualify for whatever loan that you're going for.
And I know these people own other property because we had originally spoken with them in regards to the property that they had. And I think they may have just been stretched too thin without selling or making it contingent on the sale of another property. I think a lot of times, the bank will tell you or a mortgage company will tell you, you don't need to sell this property, which I wish that was me because that's just not ever going to happen in my life.
Yeah.
That you don't need to sell your primary home in order to fund or purchase another property. So, and in this case, they did own a few properties. So my guess is that maybe they were just stretched a little thin to not sell something in order to purchase something. And that's what my thought process is on that. So, when people say that the home, the sale of their home is not contingent, that's a lot of money to, not have in play.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know of a situation a couple months ago where it was a buyer who said, I don't have to sell my home. They got their offer accepted, and then they sort of thought about it and said, I really do need to make this contingent upon selling my home. And that could be a no-no.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's so many different factors that go into, no matter where in the process you are in purchasing something. This just happened to be 2 weeks before closing.
Yeah.
But, I think
Because we just had a very successful sale, which was contingent
Yeah.
on the sale of somebody's house. So in this case, we had a house on the market here in Pembroke, a lovely colonial, and it was the perfect step up. I was, again, not representing the buyer, representing the seller. And the seller, came into the house, fell in love with the property, and were like, this is exactly where I want to be.
Yeah.
It was only really a mile or two from their existing home, but it was a step up size-wise for the kids and bedrooms and the location. It was just a perfect house. And sometimes that happens. You just stumble in and you're like, this is my house. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
This is my house. Will you accept a contingency on the sale of our home? Which we did. We accepted the contingency, and their buyer agent, their seller agent was fantastic. They got their house on the market first weekend. It does work. So not taking a contingency is not always a negative. Like I feel like people are like, oh, well, they haven't even sold their house yet. Yeah, I know, but they're going to they are as excited about purchasing your house as they are about selling their house. You just have to trust the process, which is what I kept saying to my sellers who were having a real hard time. Like, well, what's going on with the sale of their house? I'm like, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
This is how the process works, and you kind of have to trust the process. That they will sell their house. You sold your house to them. Somebody's going to want to buy their house.
Yeah, I mean, if it's priced accordingly, it will go.
It was.
And that means, condition of the home, location of the home, all those factors go into pricing the house accordingly. And if it's priced accordingly, you could potentially, most likely, get multiple offers because the inventory is low. Although I have seen more inventory coming on, we're still seeing...
There's a lot to catch up on.
We're still seeing like the slow and gradual pace of like, oh, okay, yeah.
And the interest rate's down.
And the interest rate
down a point, which is wonderful, which is going to bring buyers back out again as well. So, that inventory probably not going to keep up with, the market coming down. The fact that that's coming down. So, it does happen. And again, with our house that we just had that fell out of escrow, I directly, I put the house back on the market right away, called all of the people that had looked at it prior to, people that had definite interest in it, and said, look, hey, there was a problem. We're putting the house back on the market. Do you want to see it before I do an open house this weekend? And I had 3 people come back and look, and we did accept an offer on it. So we're back under agreement again. But that's important when you have an agent.
I want to talk about that. You as an agent and having the mindset of, okay, I already know that there's 3 people that were interested in this property. So on to the next.
I'm going right to them. Yes. Do I think I might have to have an open house over the weekend? Absolutely. Well, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. We'll definitely do our open house if we don't get another buyer. But we go back to that list of people that looked at the property, send an email to their agents, or call the people if they were unrepresented and say, hey, we had a problem. We're back on the market. Do you still have any interest? 3 people came back and looked at it, and one of them actually made an offer.
Yeah.
So,
and that's fantastic.
It's important to have an agent that is prepared to do that, though. It's not like, oh, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah, we're going to put it back on.
We'll just see if anybody comes by.
Exactly. You got to be proactive. You got to go back. Yeah. You just never know. Somebody's situation could have changed, or, they just felt like that. In this case, the people that put the second offer in, were like surprised when it went so quickly. They were like, I didn't think it was going to go that fast. I'm like, well, it's a really beautiful house.
Yeah.
It's going to go fast over the weekend. You can't hesitate. If it's your house, you got to go in, you make an offer and see what happens. But so they felt horrible. So I kind of knew, I'm like, oh, they're going to be pretty happy when I call them and say, hey, it's back on the market.
Yeah. I have, we had a phone call a couple weeks ago of somebody who said, her sister felt discouraged as a buyer in this market, and they decided to stop looking. And my first response was, oh no, why? No,
don't do that.
Even if you're not actively looking every single day, still going to open houses and going to first off, working with the buyer's agent, who is giving you these sort of leads on these homes that are coming on the market, so you're aware of them. But still staying in the game. I mean, I know it's discouraging, if you've gone a certain amount of time. I get that. It took me 1.5 years to find my house. But just staying in it, because if you're not in it, you're not going to get one.
Right, exactly. Which is why I think it's always important, like all of our buyer clients that we have, we put them right up on MLS. so that they have the ability to see what I see every day. Sometimes I'll look at a house and think it's not for them, and they're looking at the same thing I'm looking at, and they're like, no, I love that house. I want to go look at it.
Yeah.
So it's important to look every day. I mean, you might not find something right away, but it's important to look even just to see what the market's doing, just so you know where you stand in the market. So I feel like I always check the dates to see when my buyer clients are looking and when they're not looking. Sometimes they'll go a month without looking, but they usually get back in the game and, start looking again. And, it's important to look every day just to see what the market's doing, what's out there, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah.
Do I want to look at this? Do I not want to look at this? And I tend to not be a high pressure salesperson, but if I see something that I think you like, I'm going to reach out to you and say you should look at this property.
Yeah.
And if you see something that you like, you just call me and I'll get you in and we'll look at the property.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, oh, you should look at this one. Oh, that one too. Look at this. No. You both have to be looking and know what each other is looking for. So that's my philosophy of the day.
Well, kudos to you and your you say better half, but other half, Jim, for going back to everybody who expressed interest in that, because you know what, you're working in the best interest of your seller. You represent the seller, and your job is to sell that house. So, whether a buyer comes directly to you or they come with their buyer's agent, it's always important to go back to everybody who expressed the interest when something falls apart.
Yep.
We talk about the good, bad, and the ugly on this show. So, and that's the ugly.
And that's the worst phone call ever to make, having to call my seller client and be like, hi, I know we're like 2.5, 3 weeks out from close, but it's not moving forward. That's just really hard to explain the situation. So, I had to explain to her that, look, if it's not horrible. It's better to find out now. We're going to put it back on the market. We're not in a position where, we're on a deadline here. She's building a new home. So this actually gives us maybe a little more flexibility to, because as we always say with new construction, it's like a moving target. It's very hard to pinpoint a date that you can, draw a line in the sand and say, I will be in on August 23rd. That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
And it very rarely happens. Like it's a work in progress and it's a moving target. So this is going to give her a couple of extra weeks to get her house wrapped up, move into her new house, and then have her house sell. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just got anxiety when you said August 23rd and also it's 8:23. So how weird is that you said August 23rd?
Happens to me a lot. 11:11 is my thing too. Like I always look at
the clock at 2:19, and that's my birthday.
Oh, isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
Yep.
But you said August 23rd. But I got anxiety because I was like, August 23rd is like literally right around the corner.
It's right around the corner.
Where has the summer gone? Although I'm very ready for fall because I'm good with this.
Yeah, I'm not a heat person. I don't do well in the heat.
I'm not good with the heat. I don't like my electricity bill with the ACs going.
We got our electric bill for the month of July.
Oh, I could only imagine. You have a pool. You have a beautiful home.
It's devastating. Actually, I'm in a book club with my neighborhood ladies. We call it the wine club, but it's the book club. Some of us read, some of us don't. So anyways, one of them put up there, like, has anybody got their electric bill this month? Of course, everybody gets on their phone and starts looking at their electric bill. And it was like an audible sigh from every woman on the list that was like, oh my God, I just looked at my electric bill and it was pushing $1,000.
Oh no.
It was getting there.
I couldn't.
And in all the other ladies, everybody was about the same. Like it was because, the pool, air conditioning, your kids come home because they just cranked that thing down to like 68. Taylor was home for a couple of days and I get up in the morning and it was like ice station zebra in my bedroom. Like my nose was cold. I go to the air, 68.
Yeah, to put some sweats on in the house.
Yeah, if Jim knew that, she'd be in a lot of trouble on that one. Hopefully not.
Does he monitor?
Yeah, in the morning. Because he'll come upstairs in the morning after he gets up and he's like, the air conditioning is on 68. That is way too cold. Blah, blah. Do you know what our electric bill's going to look like? I'm like, yeah, now I do. Yeah, I know exactly what it's going to look like.
Oh gosh, I couldn't do 1,000, so I can't complain about mine. But
it was But everybody else's. I said, what is driving the rate to be so high? I mean, yes, we are using electricity. I get that, but that's astronomical.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a little wild.
Those solar panels are looking better and better every day.
Yeah, I don't know where we were going with that. Oh, yeah, the end of summer. We're ready for fall.
Yeah,
we're ready for fall market, but I'll be honest with you. It has been crazy all year. My prediction is that it's going to continue to be crazy busy for the rest of the year. We have about 4 months left. And we've just had a very great, successful year, and you guys have been busy. I know you have a lot of other things that are going on, or have gone on in the past couple of months in your business.
Land, we got our land to close. The land that I talk about.
You've been talking about your land for
almost a year.
Almost a year.
We kind of figured it out. It was last October we started looking at this piece of property for our clients. And we just ran into things I've never, natural heritage and fisheries.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's that? I've never heard of that.
Now you know what it is.
I do now. I do now. You need to get a sign off from them when you're trying. And again, first lot in a subdivision is usually the hardest lot to go through, because you're gonna bump into all the walls you're gonna bump into, and then at that point, moving on, hopefully it'll be easier.
Yeah.
For the builder in this case. We're not representing the builder, we're just representing our clients. But literally almost a year it took us to close on this property. A year to close just on the land.
Just on the land.
Just
it's
on
not
the
even
land.
a property.
Nope.
It's just the land.
Just the land, the rough cut land. So, but we finally closed on that. Almost a year.
Congratulations.
That's almost as long as the other one during COVID. Remember when we were going to close and we were all set to close?
Oh, yeah.
And then the trust had fallen apart. So it took us a year to close during COVID to get that through land court. It was a year closing. That was crazy too.
Yeah.
We have the craziest closings.
You do have a crazy
we can pick them.
Yeah.
We learned
sometimes
so
you guys
much.
come into the office and I'm like, what's going on?
What's going on? You're like, yeah,
What's
I
going
get,
on?
and the land's
I
still
got a
not
lot going
closing. Or I'll send Melissa the paperwork. I'm like, I'm optimistic that this land is going to close this Friday, and it comes and goes and passes and goes. She's like, did you? No,
I know. I've printed the paperwork about 6 times, and it was in my folder about 6, my to-do folder, like 6 times. I go, I'm just gonna throw it all away. I'll shred it all,
start again,
and we'll just start again.
We'll just start all over again.
But congratulations.
Thank you. It's going to be a beautiful
golf claps
home.
for you.
Yes, golf claps for me. It's going to be a beautiful home for them too. So it's I can't wait to see this one when it's all done. It's going to be a beautiful home. Gallagher Homes is building it actually.
Oh, very nice.
Yep, Paul, very nice, great guy to work with. I should say not for. He's been great getting back to us. I mean, we had a lot of conversations with Paul.
Yeah.
Jim talked to him at least once a week. So yeah.
You guys are now going to have Thanksgiving dinner.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
And the
that was
AC
fun.
will not be on 68. Don't worry, Jim. Jim is watching us on Instagram though. I was just going through Kristen Howlett. Hello, Kristen. She'll be on the show with me on Tuesday. We are doing our highlight of a community on the south of Boston. So we're going to be doing Nantucket on Tuesday.
Oh,
I have personally never been to Nantucket, but she loves Nantucket.
I love
Her and her
Nantucket.
family go every summer. So we're going to be talking about Nantucket. We'll do a little sneak peek. We're getting back to our sneak peek videos on Tuesday. I am off on Monday. It's my boyfriend's birthday, so we're going golfing, and I'm really the cart girl because I don't know golf at all, and nobody wants to see that. So I am off on Monday. We were going to do our little video Monday, but I said, oh, hold up. It's Ethan's birthday. So Tuesday, be sure to follow us because
I cannot believe you've never been to Nantucket.
I know. The vineyard? Listen, I had never.
Oh, you've been to the vineyard.
I think my mom will correct me this, but I don't ever remember going to the vineyard until Sharon and Mark took me on the boat. But I'm sure I probably have. I mean,
but you don't
been
remember
down the Cape, everything like that.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't.
It doesn't count. If
I
you
don't remember.
No.
Yeah. So sorry, Mom, if it's. My mom is watching. Have a good show, ladies.
Hi, Mom.
But yes, we have. Kristen Howlett joined again. Oh, she's got 2. She's got 2 Instagrams. Is one real, one fake? We'll see. But again, you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I'm joined by full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, Tracy Grady.
Good morning.
She is one half of the Grady team here at Boston Connect Real Estate. If you want to join in on the discussion, if you have a question for us, you just want to say hello because you love us so much, you can call or text the studio 781-837-4900. We are live on all of the socials, so be sure to follow us there as well. Okay, what else?
Nantucket. I still can't believe
You still can't believe it?
No, we used to go to swim meets there every year with the kids. So we would go. Well, we had a boat for a long time too, and we would go to Nantucket and spend the weekend, and it's just a blast. And then we've been lucky enough to go the past couple of years the day after Thanksgiving because
after
Colin's
Thanksgiving.
there. Because Colin's there. He's usually traveling at the time the president visits Nantucket, and he has his. They have their family Thanksgiving dinner there, and Colin comes, and we get to see Colin.
Yeah.
The day after Thanksgiving, so we took
That's
the ferry
awesome.
over.
Yeah.
Super fun. Yep, great time.
Yeah. So, maybe the day after Thanksgiving, you'll be at Nantucket this year.
That's what I'm kind of hoping.
With whoever.
Whoever. Well,
With whoever.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a changing thing. that is a road I am not going down.
You might not be there.
I probably, now that I'm thinking about it, probably will not be there.
Yeah. Oh, so my mom said go to Nantucket. So I guess I've never been.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Lovely. So you're doing that Tuesday night.
Well, we're
Putting
not
us
going
up,
to
huh?
Nantucket. I mean, I wish I was going to Nantucket Tuesday night, but we're talking about Nantucket.
Okay, yeah.
And we get a lot of great feedback on that segment too. So
Oh, I do like that.
okay, what else?
All right,
I
what
mean,
else?
we have an agenda, but
We never
stick-
follow the.
Yeah, we never stick to
We
it.
talked about the inventory, which it's not really changed all that much.
Yeah. What else do you have? So I know you have a couple homes under agreement. I don't know if you want to talk about any of those or any buyers that you're working with, any potentials coming on. What this is more so of a an update for everybody because they're all following you. They love you. So
We've just had a great, we have a couple more, we have a few more listings coming up, one in Hanson, on State Street, that's coming up soon. We're always looking for land. We can't say it enough. We're looking for land or people that are looking to build a custom home. We work with K&G Development, Bob Goslin, who's wonderful. He's our go-to builder who's always looking, if you're looking to build your own home, a custom home, Bob Goslin, the Grady team would be happy to help you with that. It's like one of our specialties. Bob is probably one of the premier builders in this area. Has built over 700 homes between the North Shore and the South Shore. And I'm telling you, I go to closings with him. He works directly with you as the buyer. And it's like a kumbaya moment. They're like
Yeah.
sharing cookies and gifts and everybody gets along. And
So
when you go
funny.
to your final walkthrough, there's no punch list. There's nothing. If you see something, he's probably already seen it. So
Yeah.
that's my plug for Bob today because we're looking for land and we're looking for buyers that are looking to build custom homes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of new construction, you recently sold 719 Ferry Street.
719 Ferry Street, another one that we had hanging around for a little bit. It was a beautiful home,
Yeah.
and it was a custom home. But at some point, a custom home, if you don't have a buyer, becomes a spec house.
Yeah.
So then you have to start. You can't just sit on wait for the buyer to come in and make their custom choices on what the kitchen's going to look like, or what the bathroom's going to look like, or the tile's going to look like. That's the easiest way to do it, and it's just so much nicer for the buyer if they can go in and pick everything. In this case, he put in a beautiful kitchen. He put in beautiful bathrooms. I was so happy for the buyers. They're a young couple expecting a new baby. They have a little girl. We closed on that this week, and they were moving in, and they are so excited. They sold their house over in Bridgewater.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was like the perfect family to purchase this home. It was just lovely. It was great. But
Good.
another
Congratulations. Another one.
took a little while, but
Yeah.
spec houses.
That's what
custom
happens with
house.
new
Yeah.
construction, though. They take a little bit longer, and especially if you don't have somebody coming in right away, it's hard. Sometimes we talk about this all the time when we talk about new construction. Is some people just don't have the vision, and it's
Yep.
no offense to anybody, but sometimes it's hard to look at an empty field and be like, oh yeah, this would be a beautiful colonial.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're just looking at a piece of land that still has trees on it. It's kind of hard to visualize
Yeah.
what the home is going to look like or how it's going to sit on the property. And this was definitely a challenging lot for us because it was set up high, which is when you're up there. It's beautiful. I mean, the view it's great. You're up high. You're not near anybody. But again, it's a driveway that goes up. So, it takes the right person to see the vision and like, oh no, I'm going to love this. This is going to be great for my kids.
Yeah.
It worked out great. And they are so happy there, and I'm so happy for them. Another one that took a little time. That took a little time. Again, contingent on the sale of their home. So their house was lovely. We were just lucky enough that their house sold in a short amount of time, and it all worked out great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Again, it's been a great summer. It has been a great summer for us. But it was, again, we talk about end of last year and the beginning of this year. I think it was slow. It was, we're not seeing a lot of buyers. We're not seeing a lot of people getting ready to put their houses on the market. And then, the spring market hit, and it was a great spring market. It hit.
Yeah.
It hit hard.
Yeah, it definitely was a slow, which is interesting because we had a mild winter.
Yeah.
I can really only
We've
remember
had mild winter since 2015.
Yeah.
The year everybody put in their generators because we lost power.
Every year since
Since 2015.
2015 has been mild. But yeah, it was interesting because, and I feel like the spring market started a little bit later this year too. Like it was still it crept up and we were like
April, May.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's coming?
Like usually it's right after Super Bowl. That's what we say. The Monday after Super Bowl is spring market. And we were like, crickets.
Where is everybody?
Where is everybody?
Where's everybody? What are they doing?
Hello?
Hello.
Is anyone there?
Bueller.
Please someone respond. And then now look at us.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of people moving out of state, actually.
Yeah.
We get a lot of out of state people. We
Was it
recently.
you? Yeah, I think we talked about this the last time you were on the show. A lot of out of state. Why?
Georgia, people going. It's similar to what Jim and I are thinking, though, is that the day Taylor and Duran decide to get married and have kids, I'm going to want to be closer to where their kids are. Like, I want to be close to grandkids. And so I think a lot of people are in that situation now that they're like, well, I'm going to sell my house here and move to where my kids are, where my family is, closer to be with people. So
Yeah.
that's our thought process. If and when the day comes.
Yeah.
Yep. Crickets.
Oh, here we go. We have crickets.
Yeah, I had to wake them up a little bit. Hey, they're talking about you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, we're talking about you.
We're talking about you, crickets.
Yeah. So I mean, you've talked about that you want to move down to the Nashville area, and there seems to be an abundance of real estate there.
Yeah, a lot of real estate there. Well, again, when Taylor first went down there to go to school at Belmont, there was building going on. Every corner was a crane. Like, we were shocked at how much building was going on down in Nashville. Apartments, condos. I think it has slowed down a little bit, but there is a lot of inventory down. Yep, tons of inventory down there. So, and then, and we just sold the house on Kenny Lane. That's under agreement. They're moving to South Carolina. They built their house already down in South Carolina.
Wow.
Like, a lot of people have already built their homes, and we're waiting, kids in school, things to that nature. And then now they're ready to sell their house, and they move into South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Jack.
I know. Sorry,
sad.
Jack. I'm sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
We work with Jack at Christina's, and his family is moving to South Carolina, and Jack is going to be moving to Newport. So I'm very sad.
Yeah.
I'm not.
We're losing.
I'm actually
a great
not
one.
coming. I'm not coming to terms with that anytime soon, because
He thinks he's leaving, but he's not.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he'll be living in your house.
I told him
matter
that
of time.
he's more than welcome anytime
More than
to
welcome.
stay. I got a couple of bedrooms that nobody's
Yeah.
using, so
That's so
yeah.
funny.
It is so funny. The kids going to college is sad. Like, when you work with these kids for so many years, and then all of a sudden, like,
I know.
Oh, and they're not. They're growing
I know
up.
when
They're jumping
when
out of
my
the
bus
nest.
kids. I know when my bus kids grow up, I'm like, wait a minute.
It's like
I think
losing
you
your
could still
right
work
arm.
here. I think you could still work here. They're like, yeah, we're going to college in California. Like, I can't really. Oh yeah,
Are you coming home for the holidays?
You can come back.
You coming home for the holidays?
Yeah, no, we love our kids over
Yeah,
there.
we do.
So Jack, you're moving into the Grady's house. You're gonna be a Hanover resident.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Any buyers you're working with?
We actually don't have a lot of buyers right now. We have mostly sellers, although we have had we've had sellers who are also looking on the other side. So
Yeah.
we've had a couple of those, which that's like a well-rehearsed dance recital trying to get that done, is to get somebody's house ready to sell and close on the new purchase on the other side when you have somebody else who's also it's like a chain event that ends up happening. So you try not to, but yeah, we've had a lot of sellers and buyers, not just straight up buyers.
Yeah.
Recently, we have a few that are looking though. We have plenty that are looking.
Hello, look at all these people.
Look at all those people.
I think it also depends on your price point, and I feel like your price point right now is pretty high. I mean, you guys have a really great price point.
Yep.
And for the most part, in that price point, they either have to sell something in order to get into
Correct.
it, or they're getting out of it and purchasing something else. So
Yes.
it's like it's that that sort of sweet spot. And if you're watching me, I have my hands up. So if you, right here. See those numbers in between my fingers?
Yep.
Right there. The sweet spot right there of, it's not necessarily first-time home buyer price point.
No, and actually the clients we just worked with, we sold their house and they purchased a lovely condo down in Plymouth. And I didn't go with them when they originally looked at the condo. So they're selling a beautiful colonial, like, 4 or 5 bedroom colonial, 3.5 baths, huge house. They went down to Plymouth at Sawyer's Reach and took a look at one of those condos down there. And Jim did the walkthrough with them. And I said to Jim, they didn't really like that, did they? And he's like, oh no, they loved it.
Really?
I'm like, but that's not really you think you want to downsize or right size, as we say. And I was just shocked that they loved that home so much that they did not really want to just right size. They wanted something that they were going to be super comfortable in. And it is good. It is a beautiful condo down there. And they were super lucky to get it. But it was not a small number. Like, I was looking smaller numbers for them, thinking that they wanted to downsize.
Yeah.
When really they really just wanted to right size.
Yeah.
With the right property, with the primary bedroom on the first floor, with a master bath on the first floor, primary bath on the first floor, laundry on the first floor. So they don't even have to go upstairs.
Yeah.
But they have grandkids, so they need that extra space. So when the grandkids stay over, so they
can send them up to their room.
Exactly. It was another wonderful transaction, wonderful people. We've just been so lucky this year with our clients. Everybody has just been lovely.
Yeah.
And all the agents we've worked with have been wonderful. We have had great success. So super happy.
There was something that you just said that made me think about something you said in the earlier.
Right size, downsize.
Oh, about falling in love. Like falling in love with your house. You walk into it, no matter what. Like, you thought that they were going to go in a different direction, and
Totally.
they came to you and said, "Hey, we're in love."
Yep.
And it works out.
When Jim said that, he's like, "Oh no, they loved it." I'm like, "No, that's I just didn't. It was, I came to terms with it right away. I mean, I'm like, good for them. I just really did not see that, and they were very good about saying what they wanted, and they loved their home in Pembroke. I mean, they were madly in love with their home, and it really broke their heart that they had to leave, but the stairs were just becoming too much for them. So it was the perfect move for them, and they are so happy down in their new condo down in Plymouth.
Has it already closed?
So, yes.
Oh, good.
Yep. Closed on their house. That was the sale of the people that came from a mile away were like, yep, we want to buy this house. It's like, it's the perfect up for us. Their kids did not even need to change their bus route. That's how great it worked out.
Oh, that's
so
good.
Their friends are still close by. Their kids can still ride their bikes to their friend's house. They're still on the same bus with their friends every day. It was just a great move for everybody. It was perfect.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. That was, again, a dance recital practice. Trying to get one to close and then the other to close, then to close on the other so that the other people can close. I mean, it becomes like it's a well choreographed.
And sometimes it has to be spread over 2 days, and that's okay.
That's
because
okay.
when there's a domino, we just make it work.
You just make it. And we did. We had to, they were out. Closed, the people buying closed in the morning. They closed in the afternoon on their house. They closed in the morning on the next house the next day. They stayed with their son one night. They were in their new house the next day.
Yeah.
It worked great.
That's great.
It could not have gone any better, but it does take a lot of choreography.
Strategic planning. And
We had wonderful attorneys who we
Yeah.
explained the situation to. Look, we got to close first thing in the morning, and we need to close first thing in the morning the next day so that everybody can get to
before
where
it
they
gets
need
to
to
the
be.
wonderful attorneys, it has to get through you first.
Yep.
So, you have to come up with this game plan and say, hey, this is what we got to do. How can we make this work?
Yep.
And you come up with a plan, and I think that that's great.
Yep. And we had a good plan in place, and it just worked out really well. And she had a wonderful friend who was so organized. This was good. This is a tip. Here's a moving tip. Look at your new kitchen, number your cabinets in your new kitchen. When you take stuff out of your old kitchen, you put it in a box with a number on it so you know what cabinet it's going into at the new house. So they literally had the entire kitchen numbered so that when they got to the new house, they would unpack a box. That's cabinet number 1. All the stuff goes in cabinet number 1.
Wow.
All the stuff goes in cabinet number 2. I'm like, oh, I need you in my life.
Don't do what I did and move into your house with absolutely nothing and then have to go out and buy everything. everything.
You had to buy spoons.
I didn't even have silverware. But you know what? I was very fortunate. I got really great closing gifts from people. So I ended up, and then my birthday was a couple months later. So I was able to have a little shopping spree at Crate and Barrel.
Did you buy a weed whacker yet?
No. Oh, did I say I was going to buy a weed whacker with my gift card to Home Depot or Lowe's?
Yep.
No, I bought the lights in my house.
Oh, that was a good.
So now every time I turn my lights on, I can think of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I bought lights. That was interesting too because there was one. So I had Mike Carmanica come in and change out the lights in my house and install some exterior lights and cameras. But one of them, I mean, I've never done this before. I don't know. One of them was too small for the opening. So I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And he was like, well, you just get a new one.
You just go back and you
I'm like,
exchange it.
oh gosh. And I ended up just getting the same one that matches my my entryway in my kitchen. I go, I know it's going to be too bright, but that's fine. He's like, well, just get different light bulbs and move up.
Put a dimmer on it.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I just bought everything after the fact, but that's great for them. They
were organized, very ready to go, and they did a lot of purging as well. And they were still purging. When I got down there the other day, I had to drop some paperwork off to them. There was a whole box of, do you want anything in here? I'm like, let me take a look. See what you got in there. She's like, we purged once when we packed, and now we're purging again on the back side of like, I really don't need 5 of these. I think I can get rid of those.
I've been purging too, and I've been enjoying it.
It's very therapeutic.
I feel lighter because I'm just getting rid of stuff. I got rid of so many clothes. I was disgusted with myself when I moved. That how much clothes.
All right, Flo.
That thing, yeah.
We'll call you Flo.
Still had the tags on them. Flo. Flo. Still had the tags on them. Everything.
Rest her soul.
Yeah, I had to get rid of them. I donated them, but I was like, I'm just so disgusted with myself, and now I feel a little bit lighter.
See, it does. It is good. When we did our kitchen over, we purged a lot of pots and pans that we brought from our old house to the new house, and we got rid of a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot. We filled a dumpster. We actually filled a dumpster with ski equipment because clearly I'm not skiing anymore.
Oh my gosh,
my knees are not up for it. But we were avid skiers, so the kids over the years had ski equipment. I had wonderful boots. I had everything. Gone. They were all outdated. I would have donated them if they were worth, but they were about 20 years old at this point.
So when you go into a client's home and you're about to put their house on the market, do you suggest sometimes that they get a dumpster? I mean, it's a very sensitive subject because you don't want to offend anybody.
It's very hard.
But if you know and they're telling you that they have a lot of things that they need to get rid of, especially if we've been talking a lot about this, selling your parents' home, whether they're in assisted living or unfortunate death, clearing out a house. At what point do you have the dumpster conversation?
You have to have that pretty early on.
Yeah.
We talk about the dumpster, right? And I think Sharon taught me this when I first started selling real estate. It's very hard to go into somebody's home that they're living in every single day.
Yeah.
And be able to walk in and say, okay, you really should do a deep clean.
Yeah.
Nothing is more offensive to somebody like, you don't think my house is clean? It's like, no, I think the way you live is very clean. Unfortunately, when you want to sell your house, it's not just a matter of the way you're living every day. You want to put your house best foot forward.
Yeah.
And you really should have somebody come in and deep clean because people coming through will notice baseboards and windows and kitchens,
Well, I just had this conversation actually with Mary. So I went and met a photographer at one of their listings. And I noticed that it had been vacant for a little bit. So I had noticed that it was a little bit dirty. It was dusty. I was the one moving some furniture. It had some dust on it. And I said, hey, you might want to get Durley, who is somebody who, cleans our office and cleans a lot of their properties, to come in and just do a sweep before you do an open house. And she said, oh, really? Do you think so? And I was like, yeah, I mean, you want to make sure that this looks
the best it's ever going.
And she's like, oh, I didn't notice.
I don't expect you to live that way
the
every
dust
day.
And stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, when I'm opening the blinds and I can see the dust and I can, whatever.
Yeah.
But a buyer's going to come in and say, oh, dusty,
dirty. Yeah. they notice things
they
that you
notice
don't
things,
that
yeah.
you don't notice because you're there every day.
And
You're living in
it's
it.
not about being offensive or anything like that.
No.
It's you want to. This is the first impression. You want it to be the best impression.
You can only make a first impression the first time.
Yeah, and no
you
one's
can't-
been living. No one had been living there, and it's the perfect opportunity. I mean, it's perfect for somebody to come in and do a deep clean if
Yeah.
it needs when
or a
nobody's
dumpster
living there.
and then
Or
you
a
have the
dumpster.
conversation of the dumpster. So yeah, and that's another thing. Like my sister was weird about the dumpster when we did my parents' house lunch. I'm like, a dumpster in the yard. I'm like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here.
Yeah.
We cannot physically
Yeah,
take everything out of here. Truck, Tahoe by Tahoe and get rid of a lot of stuff. I
Yeah.
think she was totally shocked by how quickly we filled that dumpster. Because you look and you think, well, it's not that much stuff.
Yeah.
You start filling that dumpster and you
we've done a
realize-
dumpster here at the office, getting rid of some of the old furniture at the old office, and we did a dumpster. Sharon and Mark have a 2-family in Pembroke. We've done a dumpster there. They've done a dumpster at their own house. I feel like I already need a dumpster at my house because I'm just like, I want to get this away, get it away from me now.
Oh, yeah.
No, thank you.
We totally need it. We could use a dumpster right now. Between the attic and the basement, we could easily fill a dumpster.
Yeah.
Not even, no question at all. And like I said, we did a lot when we did the kitchen over. We did get rid of a lot of stuff, cleaned out a bunch of closets and things
Yeah.
to that nature.
Yeah.
I think I gave away probably, 25 coats.
And you're planning on staying in your home until,
Yes.
crickets.
Crickets. Yep.
Crickets.
Until,
the
until we go to,
crickets.
we're
Until the crickets
aging in
come home.
place. We
Yeah.
are aging in
You're
place.
aging in place, and that's something that. Thank you, Tim. That's something that you still want to do. But think about the people who are moving and how important it would be for them as well.
Yep. Yeah. It's a great tool. I mean, having a dumpster is a great tool. It just gives you that ability to, like you said, I feel better. You just feel better without having all that stuff pressing
Yeah.
down upon you,
Yeah.
especially if you're thinking of moving because it's daunting. Like
Yeah.
when you go into your basement and you're like, I'm putting my house on the market in a month. And you look in your basement and you're like, this is a daunting. It's a lot to take on.
It can be overwhelming, and we don't want the process to be overwhelming at all.
Take it, and you always do it. Like I always tell them, don't look at it as a whole. Just look at it as a day-to-day task. Don't overdo. Don't overdo. Like
Yeah.
our clients that just moved into that condo, they had a huge colonial, and I could see the panic look in her eyes was, how am I ever going to get to the point where I'm like, it's going to happen. You just do it one day at a time.
Yeah.
Slowly, but stay on task. Don't let a week go by without doing something. Do something every day. Do a closet, do a cabinet, something.
Yeah.
Label your box, put it
Yeah.
aside. Well, what about the boxes in the basement? What people are going to think? They're going to think you're moving and that you're seriously are selling your home,
Yeah.
and you're not going to back out of it. So, people like to see that people are prepared and that they are really moving. So
Yeah.
boxes are packed, labeled, ready to go. It's encouraging to buyers to go in like, oh, these people are ready and I love their house. I want to buy it.
Yeah.
So-
Or even during the process. I mean, once you even have an accepted offer and you get past purchase and sales, and maybe you're meeting a contractor at the house, or you're meeting a painter or somebody, and you walk in and they've done nothing,
Yeah. Oh.
and you're like, oh,
Oh.
it's 2 weeks before closing.
I've been on that.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that one? I was at the house the morning of the closing. The movers were there, actively moving, taking boxes, but there was still a lot of stuff in the house. And I'm like, you're closing at 10 o'clock. Yeah, but we're going to come back afterwards. No, you don't own the house
Yeah.
anymore. You can't.
We could write a book on just closing day and clean outs, because I can think of many times Sharon and Mary are in their heels, dresses, hauling things out, calling me, can you come with another car to take this out?
I had
We're
to have
cleaning
Colin
walls."
come with my inhaler because I was running up and down the stairs and my asthma kicked in. I called Colin. I said, Colin, you got to get my inhaler here to me, right? And he's like, where are you?
I remember one day a couple years ago, Matt Mahoney walks through the front door, full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, dripping sweat. He's in his nice button down, his nice little loafers, drip. I go, what happened? He goes, my sellers weren't ready to move out, so I go, but today's closing day. He's like, yep. So I just was like, yep, all right, this is what we're doing.
my
And he
birthday.
just packed his entire truck.
I packed. I had packing tape boxes.
Yeah.
I was just throwing stuff into boxes, packing things. It was my birthday too. Oh, it was a day. Oh. Jim showed up at some point, and he's like, what is going on? I'm like, they weren't ready. No one was ready to go. He said, I think they just weren't really listening to me. Like, you can't come back after you sign and you no longer own the property. You don't go back. You have to be. So I always say at my first sit down with any seller, you need to be out of the house 24 hours prior to the walkthrough. Yeah. Because you don't want that pressure on you either of like, we're not ready and we're closing in and out. You don't want that pressure on you.
Well, there's also the factor of if the buyers are doing the walkthrough and there are things there that they don't want, whether it's extra paint or, flooring or whatever, and they can come through and say, no, we don't want that. We never said that we wanted it. Then you have to go back and take it out.
Yeah. I've had that happen a couple of times. My trunk, there's and
I still have flooring in the back of my trunk from
tile. I've had tile in the back of my trunk. Yep. Do you want any of this lawn equipment? No, we don't want it. Take it. Okay.
Yeah.
Jim will open my trunk. What is all this in your trunk? I'm like, they didn't want it.
Well, when I was buying my house, there were a couple of things that I was asked if I wanted them, and there was a part of me that felt bad because I was like, oh, if they can't get it out, they can leave it. And then I was like, wait a minute. Then it becomes my problem. Yeah. I was like, no, I don't want it. No. But they did leave a couple things that I did want, so that was great.
Well, and some stuff is great. The paint, I think the paint is always important. Leave the paint. The paint, if you want to, especially if they take pictures down off the wall, you want to mark up, you want to just mark that up But yeah, certain things, lawn equipment, rakes, shovels. You can never have enough rakes, shovels, ladders.
Yeah, I did get a ladder. I don't have a shovel. Mark McNamara had to come to my house with a shovel one time. Still don't
like a snow shovel or like a dirt shovel?
No, I have a snow shovel. I have 2 snow shovels, okay? But no dirt shovel. So, but anyways, only a couple minutes left. I want to give you an opportunity to give your contact information out in case somebody wants to get in touch with you, and then we'll do final thoughts.
Wonderful. Okay, so we are the Grady team, Jim and Tracy Grady. You can reach Jim at 617-842-4019 or Jim at bostonconnect.com. And Tracy, I can be reached at 617-844-Tracy.
There's today. Well, really no, because
mine was canceled. So everybody that's listening, 45 Charlene Hanover is canceled. We accepted an offer.
Yeah,
so
I believe Faith's are canceled too. I saw that she has an accepted offer, so I'm not going to promote that just in case. But Donna and Nadine have a new listing. The Donna and Nadine team. It's 55 Main Street in Carver. They will be there today from 11 to 1. That is on the market for $765.
It's a beautiful cape.
It is.
Yeah, it's a really pretty cape.
It is, and they will also be there. So again, 55 Main Street in Carver tomorrow from 1 to 3. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, Boston Connect Real Estate, on both, you can see the post that we did yesterday on that property. Beautiful. It has an in-ground pool. It's a beautiful property. So again, 55 Main Street in Carver, 11 to 1 today and 1 to 3 tomorrow. And then of course, Cushing Trails and Cochise Estates every single Saturday and Sunday. Cushing Trails is in Hanson. That is from 10 to 12. And Cochise Estates is in West Bridgewater. That is from 10 to 2. Both are represented by the McNamara Horton Group. So give them a buzz if you have any questions about that. You can find all of our contact information at bostonconnect.com. You can give us a call here, 781-826-8000. I will be back on Tuesday with Kristen Howlett, full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, talking about Nantucket, where I've never been ever. And thank you so much, Tracy, for joining me.
Having me. I love coming in. This was great.
We love having you. And thank you so much, Tim. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. The little beanie.